Ever had one of those days when the power just cuts out, leaving your home in total darkness, no lights, no devices, and no chance of a warm coffee, unless you're ready to strike a match and tackle that dusty camping stove you've been avoiding? Now, imagine living like that every single day, not because you have to, but because you choose to. That's life for the Amish. While most of us are fumbling around in power outages or watching our battery levels drop, they carry on, totally unaffected. It's like they've figured out a secret we've all missed, and they make it look effortless. For the Amish, it's not just about surviving without electricity, it's about thriving. They haven't found some mystical force to keep everything running smoothly. They've built a toolkit of clever, time-tested solutions that work just as well, if not better. While we're relying on smart devices and electric appliances to handle everyday needs, the Amish have simpler, equally effective alternatives. Ever found yourself flipping a light switch in a blackout, only to be reminded there's no power? Meanwhile, the Amish are enjoying a candlelit dinner, completely unfazed. It makes you question who really has it figured out. Their way of life might seem old-fashioned, but there's a deep wisdom to it. The Amish don't avoid technology just for the sake of it. They're selective, choosing only what truly adds value. You won't find them glued to social media or struggling with Wi-Fi, but they're comfortable, living in ways that we've nearly forgotten. When you think of the Amish, solar power probably isn't the first thing that comes to mind, but some Amish communities have embraced it, integrating solar panels in a way that aligns perfectly with their values: simple, practical, and without excess. They don't use solar energy to charge phones or power blenders. Instead, they harness it for essentials: lighting, fans, or sewing machines for quilt making. They've struck a perfect balance, taking only what they need and nothing more. Solar energy has surged globally, growing over 40% in the last decade, and the Amish are quietly part of this trend. Their panels are placed thoughtfully on barns and rooftops to catch the best sunlight. And any extra power, they share it with neighbors, like lending a cup of sugar, but in this case it's a bit of power for the night. I learned the hard way how valuable solar energy is on a camping trip. I forgot to leave our solar lanterns out during the day, and by night we were stumbling in the dark. The Amish, on the other hand, have it down to an art. Just sunlight, no fuss. They've mastered the art of balance, embracing only what they need from modern technology, while the rest of us struggle to manage smart homes and power outages. And that's not all. When the wind picks up, they have another trick up their sleeve. The Amish understand how to harness nature, and wind power fits perfectly into their lives. In areas with steady winds, you'll spot modest wind turbines scattered across Amish farmlands. These aren't the giant, high-tech turbines seen on wind farms, but smaller, simpler versions. They power water pumps, charge batteries, and even keep lights on for a barn dance, all without plugging into the grid. Wind energy now provides about 8% of electricity in the US, but for the Amish, it's more like a reliable friend than a modern fad. What's charming is how they don't depend on the wind alone. They combine it with other methods, so they're never caught off guard, like bringing an umbrella just in case. There's something special about using the natural wind as both a power source and an occasional challenge. It's a unique way of life, one rooted in resourcefulness and simplicity that most of us only dream about. You'd think that on a windy day, hats would be flying off everywhere. But no, the Amish have perfected the art of keeping those hats securely in place, a skill that would come in handy for any of us on a blustery day. It's almost as if even the wind respects Amish practicality. I remember driving through the Midwest on a road trip, passing by an Amish farm with a small wind turbine turning lazily in the gentle afternoon breeze. It wasn't noisy or flashy, just quietly spinning, getting the job done. In that moment it hit me, sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective. While we worry over smart grids and rising utility costs, the Amish keep things running smoothly with just a bit of wind and some clever planning. But when the wind dies down, the Amish turn to another natural resource, streams and rivers, that power their communities with an elegance of their own. In an Amish community, a flowing stream isn't just water, it's an opportunity. With small hydropower systems, the Amish harness the energy of running water. Unlike massive dams that disrupt whole ecosystems, these setups are humble and efficient, fitting perfectly with the Amish way of life. A rotating wheel, a bit of smart engineering, and there you have it. Clean, quiet energy without a single electric spark. It's like borrowing a bit of nature's power without taking too much. I once went on a kayaking trip with a friend, thinking it would be peaceful. But the river had other plans, and we spent more time dodging rocks than admiring the scenery. By the end, I had a new respect for the relentless energy of moving water. The Amish, though, capture that energy without the chaos. Just a wheel placed in the right spot, spinning steadily, transforming the river's movement into practical power. It's beautifully simple. No gas, no coal, and no buzzing electrical lines overhead. Just the gentle sound of water at work. Hydropower is also incredibly dependable. Solar panels might struggle on cloudy days, and wind turbines can have stretches where they're more decoration than utility. But streams, they keep flowing, rain or shine, through every season. These small hydro setups work tirelessly, ensuring homes stay warm, tools keep running, and life continues at a steady, purposeful pace. For the Amish, it seems that energy doesn't need to be noisy or complicated. When you hear the word fuel, gas stations and expensive fill-ups might come to mind. But for the Amish, fuel is far simpler, and maybe a little smellier. And on the topic of resourcefulness, we'd like to recommend a book by Claude Davis, a seasoned prepper. His book covers 126 superfoods and preservation techniques from challenging times like the Great Depression and wartime, practices that have nearly disappeared today. We're sharing it because we may be the last generation with the chance to pass on these vital skills and foods to our children or grandchildren. It would be a shame to let this knowledge of nutritious foods and crisis survival techniques fade away. You can also check out a great book on herbal remedies by Nicole Apollon available in their store. If you're watching this on TV, you can find these books by looking up our channel, Frugal Solutions, on your phone or tablet. Just click the link in our channel description or in any of our videos to learn more. Let's talk about waste. Specifically, biogas, the magic where manure and organic leftovers get transformed into usable energy. It's almost like alchemy, but instead of gold, this process produces a gas that powers stoves, lights, and more. While most of us are busy stressing over rising utility bills, the Amish are quietly converting yesterday's scraps into tomorrow's energy. It's waste management with a clever twist minus the stink you'd expect. I'll admit, my first attempt at composting nearly ended in disaster. After just a week, I was battling fruit flies around my banana peels, and my neighbor thought I'd started some kind of science experiment. I wasn't sure I had what it took to live the eco-friendly life. But the Amish? They take things up a notch with biogas systems. They carefully collect organic waste, manure, food scraps, even old hay, and let nature take its course in sealed containers. As bacteria work their magic, they produce methane gas, ready to be used as energy. Cooking with yesterday's leftovers has never been more meaningful. Biogas isn't just a practical solution, it's efficient. Even a small biogas system can turn manure from just a few cows into enough energy to power an entire home. And it's not just the cows doing the work. Every bit of biodegradable waste contributes. The environmental benefits are huge, too. Instead of methane escaping into the atmosphere and contributing to global warming, the Amish capture it and put it to good use. One less puff of methane out there, and it all makes a difference. These systems are surprisingly elegant. The Amish embrace simplicity, and biogas fits right in with that philosophy. No fancy machines, no special chemicals, just patience, nature, and a healthy respect for manure. It's a solution that solves multiple problems: reducing waste, cutting energy costs, and keeping farm life running smoothly. In the Amish world, even the most unglamorous materials hold value. Once a biogas system is set up, it quietly hums in the background, heating homes and keeping lamps aglow. While the rest of us worry about blackouts or energy shortages, the Amish know they're covered. It's not flashy, but it works. And really, isn't that what matters? Another way the Amish stay warm is with thermal mass techniques, which make use of materials like stone, brick, or concrete in their home construction. These materials absorb heat during the day and release it slowly as the temperature drops, warming homes without relying on traditional heating. During winter, sunlight streaming through south-facing windows heats the thermal mass, which then radiates warmth throughout the night. It's like having a giant, cozy blanket over the entire house. If this sounds almost too simple, consider that many modern energy-efficient homes use the same principles. It's a reminder that sometimes going back to basics is just as effective and often more sustainable than the latest gadgets. Imagine the savings on heating bills, all while staying snug in a naturally warm home. The Amish also utilize passive solar heating to warm their homes using nothing but the sun's energy. They design and position homes strategically to maximize sunlight exposure, especially in winter. Large south-facing windows allow sunlight to flood in, heating the home's interior during the day. Thick walls or thermal mass materials like stone or concrete store that warmth and release it gradually through the night. By morning, these homes feel bathed in the warm glow of the sun, creating a naturally cozy atmosphere without the need for a traditional heater. This approach is not only cost-effective, but it also reduces reliance on fossil fuels or other energy sources. Imagine stepping into a home that feels like a warm hug, thanks to thoughtful design and the sun's simple generosity. The Amish have embraced a sustainable approach that's deeply in tune with nature, inspiring us to rethink our own spaces. By designing with the environment in mind, rather than resisting it, they're creating homes that are energy efficient and resilient. Take greenhouses, for example. The Amish use these structures not just for growing plants, but as a natural way to retain and circulate heat. Connected to their homes, greenhouses trap sunlight during the day, creating a warm microclimate that helps heat their living spaces. Throughout the day, the soil and plant materials in the greenhouse absorb the sun's warmth. When night falls, that stored heat is gradually released into the connected home, making it especially useful in the milder seasons of spring and fall. Greenhouses not only provide warmth, but also allow for year-round gardening, bringing fresh vegetables to the table even in winter. It's a win-win, a cozy home and a bounty of homegrown produce. Imagine sipping a warm cup of herbal tea in a room gently heated by the sun's rays, while just outside, plants in the greenhouse work to keep your home warm. There's a simple charm in knowing that nature itself is helping you stay comfortable. Another technique Amish communities rely on is straw bale insulation. Straw bales, packed with air, serve as an incredible natural insulator, keeping homes warm during cold winter months and pleasantly cool in the summer. Thick walls built with straw bales create an ideal barrier, maintaining indoor temperatures without the need for modern heating or air conditioning. In Amish construction, straw bales often become part of the wall structure itself, creating a cozy, energy-efficient environment that minimizes energy costs. It's a sustainable approach that uses resources readily available on local farms, materials that might otherwise go to waste. With straw bale insulation, the home stays warmer with less energy in winter, and during hot summer days, the thick walls provide a cool retreat. It's like having a natural air conditioner, minus the hum of a motor, and honestly, who wouldn't want to say they live in a home that's both eco-friendly and feels like a warm embrace? While the rest of us are surrounded by smart gadgets and home systems that brew coffee, dim lights, and even lock doors at the press of a button, there's something refreshing about the Amish way of life. Their homes run on ingenuity, not apps, and their energy sources are sun, wind, wood, water, and yes, even a bit of manure. Simple, sustainable, and reliable. Where we panic when the Wi-Fi cuts out, they carry on as usual, living in homes powered by resources that are timeless. Maybe there's a lesson in that. We don't have to replace every electric appliance overnight, but small steps can make a big difference. Try adding a solar panel or two. Experiment with heating your home with a wood stove one winter, or start collecting rainwater. These little changes not only reduce our dependence on the power grid, but also bring a sense of independence and peace. So, the next time there's a blackout, maybe instead of frantically searching for candles or running out to charge your phone, you'll sit back and enjoy the stillness. After all, the Amish seem to have a wisdom we're only beginning to rediscover. A fulfilling life doesn't need to be plugged in to feel complete.